Future Millionaire. It's 1:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on this Monday, December 5th, 2022. I just wanted everybody to know that this is an emergency technical analysis as XRP continues to flirt with disaster on this bear flag. But worse than that, well, not worse than that, but more importantly is we're coming to the apex moment of this bear flag. And what that means is we're going to have to make a decision up or down here eventually. And this, I put this on here to show you the best interpretation of what I could on this bear flag. And if you were to break up or down, we'll just give you a small sample size of what we're looking at here. Or I'm going to give you a small sample size of what I'm talking about. So, let's see here. I got two different things there. So, let's just say we do get rejected at the finer point here, and that ends up being a rejection here at about 401. So, that's about 401. That would give you a targeted move just on this bear flag we created. And this is in the 4 hourly. This isn't the overall bear flag, but this is the one we created on November 7th. So to atone for the November 7th bear flag, if this breaks down, we'd come to about 233. Fluently, if we were to break up and break out, it'd be at the apex. We'll do it somewhere around there. You'd be looking at a breakout at around 57 cents. And honestly, it seems more likely than not that we're probably not going to get up, but we can do it from here. That's probably where I'd be more comfortable. 55 cents. So you look at it and you're like, all right, well, what's that 55 cents for XRP if it were to break out like that? Well, 55 cents is very close if you were to break up here. Actually, it's right on the money. That would put you right into that area. Okay, so 55.5 is a perfect area if it were to break up. If you were to get a perfect break out of this bear flag, you could come up to 55.5 would be approximately the targeted move. And if you break down that 23 cents as we talked about, and look at that, putting that right there at the 55.2, and then if you came to the corner right here, where were we at originally, that's pushing right into that spot. More importantly though, that if you broke it out of here, that's right at, man, that's right in that area. If this was the W reversal right here to the top 55.3, that puts you right to the descending triangle resistance. So pay attention to this. Obviously, if it breaks down and out, we're looking at more of a targeted move right at about 23 cents. And you can see right here, the bottom of the patterns are about 21.49. And this is just off of the bear flag. So if we broke down on the bear flag, this is what you're looking at. If we broke up out of the bear flag, we're looking at about 55.5. So it's very interesting. Right now, though, it would, unless we break up, this pattern is a continuation pattern. So no matter what we want to think, no matter what we want to believe and hope and pray to God that it's going to break out, we need to break above here to at least get rid of this part of the pattern, break up, hold 402 and ultimately 404 in my opinion, and then break up out of this region. That's what we would need to do, but this bear flag is a pretty big bear flag in either direction. We're going to have a big breakthrough. Like I said in my first up today, we're getting close to a breakout here for XRP. That doesn't mean it has to break up. A breakout means one direction or another. Now, typically people would want to break out to the up direction instead of breaking out into a downward fashion, but you're breaking out of a pattern. And this is a bear flag. It's a continuation pattern. And I have other charts that'll show you too that it looks like we're in a rising channel on some of this. And you know, we're going to have to be very careful when we're trading. Whoops. We're going to have to be very careful when we trade this market. So, and it's all perception. It's all the way you're perceiving it. I just put the other chart one way, but this actually shows it outside of it, on the outside of 404. This is to illuminate the importance of getting back in there and holding that level. Ultimately, we're going to have to come back up into the bear flag, the bull flag, break up through here, and then continue up to 52.4. Oh, look, awesome. Spammers. So fun. This is why I don't like TikTok. This is how it happens all the time. And then TikTok does nothing about it, so then I got to block it. So these scumbags that don't do any work for themselves, that have to leech off of my work and my hard work and dedication, blood, sweat, and tears, so to say, and then they're just going to spam the audience. It's a fucking joke. YouTube's no better. It allows people to spam the shit out of my stuff, too, all the time. So, the fact you don't see it in the comments very often is because I work diligently to get rid of the shit. As always, this update sponsored by the dedicated members of Tom's Army. We have 215 members who pay $9.99 a month. For if any other reason, if you don't want to show me the support, but you enjoy not seeing paid promotions and you enjoy not having paid advertisements and me being basically dictated on what to say by a special interest who's paying me, I don't do that. The only special interest here is Tom's Army, for the people, by the people. And if you show me that generous support each month of just $9.99, that's all I ask. We can continue to make this a free operation where I don't have to advertise and do anything like that. You've blessed me so far, so moving on, because that's all the advertisement we have to do here. The bear flag, we break down, like I said, the best way of showing this is what I was showing you in the beginning. If we break down out of this, these are the targets. You got about 23.3, you break up, you got about 55.5 would be the ultimate end game here if that's what's happening. But unless we get a huge surge of volume here, it looks like the continuation pattern would play true, and it would at least give us a little bit of a scare here in the immediate short term. One thing that you have to pay attention to right now as well, and I mean pay serious attention to, would be the US dollar currency index. It's done exactly what we talked about on the earlier update. It had to come up to 105.20 and retest that area, because that is the broken cup and handle, or the cup and handle it's trying to break. And it doesn't look done yet. I think it's coming up to 106.20 to at least test that and see what's going to happen. What does that mean for crypto? Like I said last week for gold and silver, for my gold and silver buffs, the ones who love it, I told you, don't get tricked and fooled in that push up. We're going to have a much better buying opportunity. So I said on Cyber Monday, buy that where silver had the spot fees cheaper. And then it had a nice push up of about 10% in a week almost. It was a nice big push up, but much bigger than silver's accustomed to. You're talking about since November 30th, silver had pushed up, and we're talking about a matter of 5 days. 10.73%. Well, like I said, we weren't ready to make the eventual overall move with gold and silver. As much as I love it, I know that we're not ready yet. And if anything, to me, we still need to either verify the $20.32 on the uptrend or the grand pattern at $19.04. And I know some people are like, oh my God, this is bullshit. But just like with crypto, there's a lot of people perpetrating FUD in the silver markets and gold, stating that it's over, it's ready to go, it's never coming back. I don't think that's true just yet. I think we're still trying to confirm that we're ready to break out of here. And about $20.94 to me would be the ideal spot to test this market. I have this measured out perfectly, so it's not just crypto, but just in this little part of the pattern, you can see all the formations here that I have charted out and how it got so far rejected at this level. So we're going to see what happens here, but pay attention to gold and silver. Also pay attention to oil. PBR is down 2.11%. Hopefully this is coming down now to where I seen it before. We did have quite a spike, but I still think that this is a bear flag, and I still think that that's a bearish cross that's about to form, and I just think we're out ahead of this topping reversal. And I still think after you get rejected at the top of the pattern in a very large descending triangle at $16.48, or I don't want to say descending, ascending, that it has to come back down here and now confirm the pattern. Now, yes, some people would say it's crazy at $5, but something larger is going on here, and it might even come down farther than that. I think there's going to be a play on commodities here. And I don't mean in the up direction. I think they've got everybody by the balls here. And now every institution is starting to dump into commodities, dump into the precious metals markets. I think this is where it turns you upside down at the end of the year. This is where you actually get a nice little sell-off. It's not 100%, but I think this is where we can get a dump off if they do pull the rug. And this is where, like gold, it might not even just be the 1453 level. This is where you could see that magical push down to 1153 that I want, I crave, and I desire. We will know that if 1680 breaks, then we'll at least probably, or most likely, come down to 1458. There's no guarantee this breaks. If this pattern's bullish and it's meant to just come up and out, this is where 1680 will hold after a nice big dump down if it happens here. Because as of right now, this was just a big fake out to the top side. And it happens sometimes. And that I believe this happened more so because the US dollar tanked. And look at this, guys. Another scammer. Another one on TikTok. If you guys don't see the value of what I do and actively monitor this bullshit, it's a fucking joke. And unless you've actually done this, you don't understand. Unless you've actually done a YouTube, you won't understand. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. And do the social media platforms do anything to help? Nope. Nope. So, anyhow, that's what's going on in the commodities markets. That's what's going on with XRP. With XLM, we're at 0.87. XLM, whoops. Great, now I just moved my line. That's all right. We got to get out of the weekly here. So I've kept this on here because this is like a head and shoulders pattern trying to reveal itself real quick. Left shoulder, head, right shoulder, and if it pulls down. And I was saying, could this be looked at as a bear flag because it came up real quick on a quick wick, and we can show you it better in the daily right here. But that came up as a quick wick, and I was saying, is this not forming a bear flag now? And now it's actually forming out to where it actually could be forming a bear flag. You know, on top of the actual bear flag it's in, but it double topped there. And it actually very discreetly came up and met the broken bull flag. That's what, why is that like that? That's what's so important. What the hell is going on here? God, I hate all this stuff. Some of you guys know, and gals who do this, once it updates, it moves your, it's so annoying. So, the different time frames. So, that's what we're looking at. And we actually came back and got a sneaky back test. So, this is very bearish right now. I know a lot of people are calling these targets very, very bullish in crypto. But for these to be bullish, we've got to break out of some of these sections. And for XLM, the problem is we're in a very tight restrictive zone. And we got to get first above 878. Get back above 88. And then make a push and get us over 99 if we're going to try to make some kind of run here. Other than that, this looks very dangerous. We don't have a lot of volume. And it's a sucker's bet right here. This is a sucker's bet in this area. Absolute sucker's bet. And it's not because we can't make money. Don't get me wrong. It's because when you get into these kind of... This is the make it or break it zone. You either want to buy here on the support at 7.7 or the next time on resistance would be wherever you hit this downtrending resistance because we're in a much larger pattern. So it becomes very, very dangerous to trade within the pattern when you're inside of the line. Like right now we're inside of a zone. We have already made the initial move and we're on a bear flag and all these major bounces up could have been the money spot right now. These could have already been the major bounces for this pattern is what I'm trying to say. So, and we're in such a big bearish formation right now that to me it doesn't even matter how we draw this out here. Let me get this out here. I would probably be inclined to do it like that on XLM. So that's what we're looking at. And that's a fantastic looking bear flag. It really is. And if it breaks down like we were talking about on the other chart, we're in some trouble here. If it breaks up, we've got a little bit of room. Even in the bear flag, we could still break up. We got to get above 9 cents here. 9.1. Let's be honest with ourselves. We got to get on top of 9.1 to be feeling better about this. So that doesn't mean that it can't move a little bit here. But what you have to understand is unless it breaks out, you're more than likely breaking down. These are continuation patterns. And what that means is unless we get a surge of volume, we're going to continue in the direction of the pattern. See? And DGB, we've been talking about for a long time. DGB, we talked about how it was meant. It was going to try to break out to 8 cents. Well, it needed to get a little bit higher than that. I'd rather show you the other DGB chart. It'll probably be easier to see. This is the channel. I've created this channel. And that's a pivot level that I talked about. I arrowed it. And it's right at 747. Right now it came up over it. But it's going to, once again, retest this level. So it's going to retest the 747 level. And if it can hold that, then it's ultimately going to push up into here for DGB at 846. If it doesn't hold this, it's going to come down with the rest of the market. And this broader bear flag, and this is a gigantic bear flag, is going to play true. And you're going to find yourself down here at 573 to figure out what the hell is going on in here in the double bottom. I'm XRP Future Millionaire. Hit that motherfucking like button. Hope you enjoyed this update. Hope you appreciated the commodities update on the precious metals and the DXY. Make sure you go to the last video. Hit that like button if you're watching it. Help me push this through the analytics. And if you want to join me in Tom's Army, help support the show and make sure that all of this stays free, so I don't have any special interest, because I like for the people, by the people. Join the other 215 people that pay $9.99 a month to support the cause. All you have to do is go here, click XRP Future Millionaire, join Tom's Army. You get the special telegrams with it, and if you want to join me on BitGet, UPHOLD, or MEXC, all exchanges I trust going into the future, all exchanges that have a lot of cash on hand. BitGet has the best cash on hand I've seen in a very long time. When you see the numbers they put out, which should make everybody a lot more confident. Go back and check out my video from 2 days ago where I put their reserves on hand. And it's absolutely phenomenal what they actually have. Only 357 people decided to watch it, which I understand. But they have 725% on reserve for BitGet, and also USDT. They have 202% on reserve. They have 187% roughly on Ethereum as well. That's my mom who texted me, so I'm going to go see what's up.